Boom. And we are live. What's up, guys? Let me, can I hear myself? I can hear myself. I always hate it when I can't hear myself. Makes me feel like, I don't know. I gotta be able to make sure that y'all can hear me so I can hear me and whatever. But, people, what's up? Welcome to Stock Watch Sunday. See a couple people rolling in here. What's up, Jake, Alan, Bob, Bruce? Good to see you. Man, we got a great week ahead. And, just earnings after earnings, right? And I think that this is going to be an exciting earnings week, particularly because these are some of the stocks that I've been talking about for the last couple of months. And I think they're going to do extremely well. But before I get into any of that, of course, let's get into some of the pleasantries. Let me welcome you guys into Stock Watch Sunday. My name is Brad, and this is Own the Chaos. The stock market is a crazy and chaotic place, and I've made it my mission to help you own it. So if you want to see more content like this, if you want to join me on Stock Watch Sunday every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and all throughout the week, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Hopefully I earn a like if you get value out of today's video as well, or today's live stream. And we've gotten a thing here over the last couple of weeks where we've just been breaking record after record in live stream attendances. Maybe that's a word. Of people, tuning in, and the thumbs up, the likes. You guys have been killing it. I really appreciate the support. We're almost at 17,000 subscribers. Can you guys believe it? Some of my OGs, you guys are probably like, man, I told you, you're all worried for nothing. But it's been pretty awesome. Just to kind of see the amount of growth that this channel has experienced over the last month or so. So it's been really awesome, and I have you guys to thank for that. So thank you for that. And yeah, so like I was saying, this week it's going to be very interesting. There's going to be a tale of, how do I put this? The tale of the retail. Retail is going to be the main focus for this week, and some tech stuff. Lots of interesting earnings coming out this week, and that's pretty much going to be my main focus. But as always, folks, if you are tuning in to Stock Watch Sunday for the first time, first of all, welcome. How rude of me to not welcome you here. But just to give you a rundown of how Stock Watch Sunday works. So in about 90 seconds or so, I'm going to go over where I was right versus wrong based off of last week's Stock Watch Sunday. So I always like to hold myself accountable and, let you guys know that sometimes just because this is what I do every day of the week doesn't mean that I always get it right, because nobody does. And I want to bring some perspective as far as that's concerned. And I thought you guys might find this interesting. I pretty much was pretty accurate, but still got some things wrong. So we'll go over where I was right, where I was wrong in just a little bit. But after that, I will go over the stocks that I'm watching throughout the week, and then the fun part happens. I always have folks that are asking me about particular stocks that they would like me to take a look at. The only thing that I would do, a couple housekeeping items, is that if you give me some sort of context, why you see value in this stock, what's going on with it, instead of just thoughts on. Let's have a conversation. Let's have an engaging back and forth about why you see value in the stock, and why would you like me to take a look at it. So if you guys could do that. Also, not only is it going to be in the chat, but I will give you the opportunity to also call me as well. I will give the phone number once I'm ready for you guys to call in, and would love to have you on the show. So if you guys want to call in later or put it in the chat, I certainly would be happy to do that. It's my favorite part about Stock Watch Sunday, being able to check in with you guys. But before I get into that, let me welcome some more folks in here. What's up, Brad? What's up, King Bradicus? William Williams, good to see you, man. Tiger AK, good to see you. Fernando, hey, what's up, Chuck Allen? Bassmaster, what's up? Daniel Spear, good to see you, man. Matthew Schaefer, Mr. Folding Feathers. I think that's an interesting one. I don't know if I've seen that one. You might be newer, but good to have you. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. Joe Kaz, what's up, man? And yeah, Jake, you can call in. Call in, yeah. Knock yourself out. Anybody can call in. Be happy to, man. Be happy to have you here. Mike, first time here, man. I'm excited. Nice to have you here too, Mike. Welcome. So yeah. So again, what's up, David? So last week, talked about a few stocks that had earnings, and I thought they were going to, discuss whether I thought they were going to beat them or not, and what would be a reasonable entry. What would, just like every other Stock Watch Sunday, like I said. So we're going to get into this, where I was right, where I was wrong. So Tilray, was a big letdown. And this is one where I got wrong. Last week, I said estimated earnings around 44 cents a share. I said they beat. They actually, oh my God, it was awful miss. They missed it by a mile. They operated a loss at $1.73. I said sales numbers would be a bigger factor here, and people probably wouldn't care as much about the earnings. And I was right to an extent. They actually did beat sales, and the stock actually spiked up quite a bit. I was able to make some money on this on Monday running into earnings on Tuesday of last week, but not as much as I was expecting. It is what it is. The weed sector has just been absolute garbage. It's been trash. And, there was a couple of people that gave me a hard time about Aurora Cannabis. And look, ACB is still a trash stock. I talked about this last week. Remember when I said people are going to try to polish this turd, and they did, and it ran, but it's going to come back down. The thing of it is they reverse split, in order to stay listed on NASDAQ. That's really the only reason that Aurora did the reverse split. They were doing so poorly that they had to do a reverse split just so they could stay on NASDAQ. So revenues were good on Aurora Cannabis earnings last week, but nevertheless, everything else about that company is just straight trash. I don't know. We'll see how long that they actually make it. This grow at all costs thing, it's not sustainable for most companies, and I don't think it's going to be sustainable for Aurora. Again, they have a lot of issues when it comes to accounting. They've had a lot of accounting issues. The numbers might not be actually accurate on their balance sheets, which is a big problem. They've laid off a lot of people despite the revenues, which always is a good thing. They got a lot of other problems that they got to get through. So Tilray, I was wrong on. Cisco, oh man, knocked this out of the park. I said they beat earnings, and they crushed them. Said that I like this at a buy between 40.78 and around 43.50, somewhere in there. Went up as high as went as low as $41 just before earnings, and gave a nice pop over 44.50 the day after. So really, really nice move on Cisco. I think they continue to move up. So if you were looking to make a longer play out of Cisco and thinking that maybe this could go up above $50, I think it definitely could within the next couple of weeks. People are still using Webex. Yes, businesses are opening back up slowly but surely. So I think the demand for services like Webex and the like are definitely still there, and will continue to be there, definitely going into the better part of the second quarter, and maybe even third and beyond. We'll see. Wix, holy crap. What can I say about Wix? I called Wix, said they beat earnings, and they annihilated them. Their expected earnings were going to be at 64 cents to the they were going to expected to the earnings were expected to be at a loss for 64 cents. They actually came in and were almost profitable. So close. Loss of 0.01. So they beat earnings by 63 cents. That was a really, really good beat. They had a fantastic move. Jumped from 164. I said if you could get this down into the 150s, it would be a good solid buy for me. Went from 164 and then closed at the day at $204 after crushing those earnings. I said that cloud-based services are going to be absolutely amazing going into the second quarter and probably beyond this. They're definitely going to be a really hot sector moving forward for the foreseeable future, in my opinion. And Wix absolutely killed it. Yes, they have the website side of it as well, and we talked about how Etsy has been doubling storefronts in the month of April, and people need to build websites, and so this is what's happening, guys. When people have been laid off, they find other ways to make money, and e-commerce is it. A lot of us knew this. More people are starting to figure out just how well they can make money, through e-commerce. And so Wix is definitely it. Any of these types of companies I think are going to continue to do exceptionally well. Stitch Fix, one of my top 3 underrated stocks that I put out, a month ago? It was trading at $15 then, now up over $22 over this past week. It was an amazing mover. I love Stitch Fix. I still think that's going to continue to move. Hope you guys got in on that one too, back when it was called, second week of April, somewhere around there. Stitch Fix, amazing stock. Last one, NCLH. Norwegian, I said they'd miss earnings. People thought I was crazy when I said that Norwegian was going to get down below $10. Sure enough, it did this past week after it had abysmal earnings. And like I said last week, they were tossing around the B word, bankruptcy. We just saw JCPenney finally file for bankruptcy. Not really surprised there, but Norwegian is, tossing around the fact that this is a distinct possibility. So Norwegian is not in good shape right now. Now, it did hop back up over and close at 1092 on Friday, but I still don't think that I would even touch any of the cruise lines, period. I don't care if it's Carnival or not. It's just bad news, guys. I'm sure you could probably, make a nice quick flip out of it. Stimulus money starts to come back in, what have you. I don't know. They said, a lot of these cruise liners said they're starting to book cruises for August. Well, that remains to be seen if people actually buy them up. I doubt there's going to be any kind of demand for cruises in the foreseeable future. The other bad thing about the cruise line stocks is that, even if they do book some trips in August, most of their peak season is gone by then. The peak season for them is, from June to mid-September, somewhere around there. So 3/4 or better of their peak season is gone before they can even start to book cruises. And who knows what the demand's going to be like as far as that's concerned once people are actually, out and feel comfortable just being out, much less, being in on a cruise. So I don't know. We'll see. So anyhow, Savart grabbed a few shares of Six Fish. Very, very happy I did. I see Savart is actually in the Chaos Crew as well. See his little icon next to that. So if you guys, let me just touch on that real quick before I get into the stocks that I'm watching this week. If you guys want to be a part of the Chaos Crew, I see a couple of other people, King Bradicus as well, Alan. What the Chaos Crew is that if you want to click the join button just below me here, somewhere around here, there's a join and then the subscribe. You want to click on that join button. And for $4.99 a month, which I think is a pretty incredible value, I put out a watch list every single day. It's usually between 4 and 5 stocks that I'm seeing movement on and where I could see it potentially going. We had some really awesome stocks that had some really incredible moves this past week that I had on that watch list. And lots of people, I'm sure, will testify that there were some really great movers. Peloton was another fantastic one. Shoot, I can't think of any more off the top of my head, honestly. But I'm sure there's people in here that would attest to just how good and valuable that Chaos Crew watch list is. So if you guys want to be a part of that, again, click the join button. Would love to have you over there at the Chaos Crew, folks. Okay, so let's get to it. Boom. All right, let me share my screen over here. And we're going to look at Home Depot first. So Home Depot has earnings Tuesday. I'm sorry, let me see here. It'll be Tuesday pre-market, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just pull up my notes here. And let's see here. I think the demand here for Home Depot is going to be actually pretty incredible. According to Zacks, their estimated earnings per share is going to be around $2.25. I think they beat that. $2.25 is going to be the estimated earnings per share. I don't know how much they beat this by. It's a pretty high estimate already. I would say they probably end up coming in around maybe $2.45. Which still is a pretty decent jump. Their estimated revenues are expected to jump 3.5%, which could smash the Q4 numbers in 2019. So I think that this is the crazy thing too. And this might sound a little wild to some of you guys, but what's happening right now? How many of you have been stuck at home and now have the time to do what? All of the to-do list, right? The honey-do list. Any home projects that you've been putting off because you've been too busy working, and now you're not. So I think that there's just been some incredible demand for Home Depot, Lowe's, the home improvements. I mean, we've seen Etsy. We already talked about Etsy, but Wayfair as well blew earnings out of the water because some people that do have the money are spending it on home projects, and you're sprucing up their house. Maybe you got a bathroom you got to redo, kitchen, whatever. And then also we have springtime coming, so there's a lot of landscaping going on. So the demand for Home Depot here, I think, is going to be extremely high, as we already know. But I think the earnings are going to reflect that. And so for me personally, I like Home Depot, I think that everyone has, like I said, has been bored at home. Not to mention spring is coming, and I think this is a buy. If you could scoop up any below 240, I think that that would be a steal. Right now, I'm looking here and seeing a resistance at 239. Now, I would say if this comes back down to 239.50. You could see that like it started to spike up over that, and this was probably in large part due because there was such a huge run at the end of the day on Friday in the market overall. But what I would say is maybe look for a pullback down into the 230s, and I think that you will be set up quite nicely after earnings come out on Home Depot. You know, now of course the Rona can put a wrinkle in this, as we all know. The Rona's been putting wrinkles in everything. But, you know, I still like that this could definitely be a really, really nice one to get yourself into. Okay. Nicholas, I dropped the ball on MGM. I did drop the ball on MGM, but I still like MGM and I would still be holding on to it. I still am holding on to it. I mean, like I said, nobody gets it right 100% of the time. But appreciate you keeping me honest. Okay, next one, Walmart. Walmart is going to probably crush earnings as well. Let's see here. According to Zacks, give me 1 second here. According to Zacks, estimated earnings per share is going to be $1.14. I think they beat that. You can see that the resistance here on right around 126. And we'll call it 125.95 if you really want to get technical with it. But I think Walmart does extremely well. This has been something that I've been talking about for a while as well. I've been talking about Walmart being one of the stocks that you should certainly be in throughout the entirety of the issues that we're dealing with as far as the Rona is concerned. Now, let me actually get this off of here. These are my notes. Sorry about that. So as far as this is concerned, demand for Walmart has been absolutely incredible. They've had to hire at least 150,000 employees since all this has taken place. We already know about the toilet paper issues, right? People have been, this is going to reflect a lot of that. These earnings are. And so I would say not only that, but their e-commerce as well. So they've been mastering e-commerce as well as their brick and mortar side, right? So I think that Walmart actually does really incredible. If I'm looking for a potential entry here, 126.13 seems to be the resistance. And you can see here, let me switch back over and show you here about this area. Now, what I would be looking for is some sort of break over this. You can see it kind of gap down here back at the end of April, and then just kind of been struggling to get back up over that 126 area. So I'm looking for a break up over 126. If this happens to dip down to 120 by chance before earnings come out on Tuesday, pre-market, I would say scoop them up. And I think that you'll be just fine. And I think that these Walmart earnings are going to blow everybody's socks off. So that is going to be it on Walmart. So let me check in with you folks here. Did I turn the lights on? Oh, what is going on? Why? Oh, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It's so annoying. I like double checked this a million times and it's still, what's up with that? Hold on. My bad, guys. It's this OBS. I gotta do something about this. I don't know why. If anybody's out there who are OBS users, I would love to get some insight from you guys because this is still a problem. And it only happens when I switch screens. When I switch back and forth, it's so annoying. So thanks for pointing that out to me, Alan. Appreciate it. And whomever else. Give me a hard time. That's all right. Keeping me, like I said, keep me honest. All right, so Aurora Cannabis didn't ride from under $1. They reverse split. I just wanted to the reverse split and then it moved, but it didn't go from under $1 to $12. That didn't happen. So how much is Walmart stock right now? Yeah, no problem. 125.94 is where it closed at on Friday, which again is right at the resistance level for Walmart. So, you know, like I said, if it breaks up over that, You know, if it wants to break up over that, getting into the 127, I think this actually continues. Probably tries to close the gap here at 128.74, somewhere around there, 128.75, and I think it actually does really well. So again, like I said, be on the lookout for that, and it's not the ring light, DJ. So I have plenty of lights. I got some really much more expensive lights than the ring lights. I hate those ring lights. They're annoying. But anyways, getting on to the next stock here. Target is going to be the next stock that I'm watching. They have earnings on Wednesday, pre-market. Let me go ahead and switch back over. Hopefully the lights will stay on. It's not the lights, by the way, guys. It's the software. Just FYI. And so we're going to look at Target. Their estimated earnings per share are at 78 cents. They crushed earnings. They've been beating earnings the last 2 or 3 times. We all know Target's been absolutely killing in e-commerce as well, and I almost like this more than Walmart. Another nice one to hold on to if you still have this, as we talked about this over the last couple of months. And if you are planning on playing this through earnings, I really like if you can happen to grab some on a bounce at right around 118, right around here. So right around 118, I think definitely going to be a bounce at this line here. You can see where it was a pretty decent support. Then it came up here and was a resistance again before the actual crash happened, and then broke back up over that. So I think that we are on a really, really nice trend for Target, and I think that they continue to thrive as they have mastered the e-commerce side of things. When it comes to pickup and everything else that they have going on. Again, like I said, this is very similar to Walmart, and I think that I almost like this better than Walmart. Did the lights stay on? Oh, they did. We're still good. All right. So anyways, I like this better than Walmart just by a little bit. But I think that they're both very solid plays, and you can kind of make that determination on which one you think is better. But I really like Target. I think that they just have the slight edge on the e-commerce stuff. So that'll be the next one for me. All right. So let's move on to Lowe's. So same thing with Lowe's. Lowe's is going to probably be a little bit less of a mover than Home Depot. I think I like Home Depot as a better play if I'm going to go with either one of these, but I do like Lowe's, again, for the same reasons. You can see here that they have a resistance at around 114, 115. It dipped all the way down to 106. And now, it moved with the rest of the market on Friday. Friday was a ridiculous day in the market. Dow was down 400 points, then came up and ended the day green. It was absolutely nuts. But pretty crazy day. I would say that if this breaks up over 114.88, 114.90, you can even call it 115 if you want to. I think this probably continues to move, and I think they absolutely crush earnings as well. Their estimated earnings per share are $1.32. Like I said, I think Home Depot is going to be the better play here if I had to pick between the two, but you can't go wrong with either one of these. And if you've been in these for a while, just hold on to them. No reason to sell before earnings. If you're looking to play earnings and buy into them before the earnings calls come out, like I said, if you could get if you get anything below 110, consider that a gift. I don't think we see that. I would just look for a break up over this 115 for a potential entry there. All right. So let me check in again with you guys just a little bit. See what we're up to. Target's a bigger mover after earnings compared to Walmart. Yep, I would agree with that. So yeah. All right, cool. If you guys are getting value out of this video, certainly would appreciate a thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. All right, moving on to the next one I'm watching, and that is going to be Take-Two. So if you guys don't know what Take-Two is, it is another video game company. If you guys recall, last two Stock Watch Sundays ago, we talked about Activision and how the video game space was going to absolutely crush it. And I think that Take-Two is going to be right with them. If you guys don't know any of the brands that Take-Two has, they have pretty iconic brands such as NBA 2K, those types of games. And so according to Zacks, their estimated earnings per share are going to be at 56 cents. I think they absolutely crush those. And the reason is, guys, everyone's at home still. Video games are in more demand now than they probably ever were. I like this as a whole through earnings, and if you haven't gotten in, I like this at a dollar or $129. So if you can see this, $129 bounce there, I like that one. So look for a bounce. If it doesn't bounce, look at where this is sitting. If you guys can look at this resistance at 135, if this breaks up over 135, look out. This probably will continue to run. So I really like Take-Two along with Activision. If you're owning either one of those, I like both of them. But going into earnings here, and the earnings on this one is going to be after hours on Wednesday. So after hours on Wednesday for Take-Two, and I think they do extremely well. So definitely a buy there. NVIDIA. All right, guys. So NVIDIA, this has been tough. These companies have been raking me through their coals. So we talked about Intel earnings a couple weeks ago, and then we talked about AMD earnings a couple weeks ago, and I said that they were going to beat earnings. Both of those companies did beat earnings, and the reactions were not very good. I'm hoping that NVIDIA, it's time for redemption, okay? Estimated earnings per share is $1.35. I think they crushed those. I think it's NVIDIA's time to shine here, and I think NVIDIA does it. It's already gone off on Friday, coming down to as low as $314 and closing on the day to $340. And so I think we see an opportunity for at least a small pullback before this continues into Thursday's earnings report. This has beaten earnings reports 4 quarters straight. 4 quarters straight. And I think that demand's still very high. And the reason for this is because I've talked to you guys about how I felt, the demand for computers has only gone up as more people are working from home. And so if you're not already holding this, first of all, if you are holding this, I would just hold on to this for the foreseeable future. If you're not holding this and you're looking to make the short-term play on these earnings, I would say that it's probably going to do very well. Like I said, all the other chip makers beat earnings, and then the market did not respond well to that. I think that this is probably going to be the one that actually moves. They dropped a new GPU, which is crazy good. I'm seeing that DJ put in there, and I did hear about that. So, I think there's one that's like really good at voice recognition, if I'm not mistaken. So, anyhow, yeah, I think that NVIDIA actually does crush this, and I think it's a buy. I would hold this through earnings if you got it. Okay. Last one's going to be Alibaba. Alibaba estimated earnings per share, 59 cents. I think they beat those. In my opinion, I feel like this is a no-brainer, right? The Asian Amazon. Okay. This has been moving well since the crash, and I like this if it can break over that 209 resistance, and I think they beat the earnings, and they do so with ease. Look, I don't know. I think that with Amazon didn't beat earnings technically, right? But they had ridiculous revenue, and Amazon's kind of gone off the wall a little bit. Jeff Bezos came out and said that, we're going to take all the profits from this quarter and just dedicate it to, fighting efforts against Corona. And I was like, okay. He literally told investors that they needed to have a seat, and he's just going to do whatever he wanted with their money. And I don't know. People were pissed about it. But Amazon continues to go up. I think Baba, though, I think they continue to crush it, and I think we see this move well above 210 after these earnings. Everybody's still at home, especially in Asia. I would imagine that there's a lot of people ordering stuff from Alibaba over there while they were all locked up as well. So I like that one very much, and that is my top 7 stocks to watch throughout the week. So, of course, there's plenty of other ones. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me with this shit? This is ridiculous. Oh, my gosh. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to switch back again. We're not going to do that. It's not going to be a thing. It's so bad. Okay, here we are. We're good. So annoying. So annoying. I know. Oh, man. You guys are hilarious. I love you guys. It's not the light. So here's the thing, just to give you what's going on. So I can adjust the exposure that these these lights are blinding. Okay, they're super bright. So I can adjust the exposure with the software that I use to share my screen and flip back and forth and all that stuff. For whatever reason, whenever I switch from screen share to here, it like goes all back to default, and so then that's why everything goes dark. So it's not like the lights are actually turning off, it's the software. So there you have it. That's the explanation, just to give you a heads up. So I have no idea what the problem is, but it's definitely not the lights. All right, so we just won't switch back and share my screen. You'll just have to see my beautiful face and my coiffed hair. I can actually pull this up in a ponytail nowadays. It's pretty bad. Can't wait to get to the hairdresser. All right, or the barber, the hairdresser. Get out of here. Okay. Let's get to it. What is it that you guys want to... We can still hear you. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Let me get into some of the stocks that you guys are watching. So I'm going to open up the phone lines as well. And in the meantime, I will also be answering some of the questions in the chat. But if you guys want to give me a call at 443-281-3763. Again, that's going to be 443. And the fortunate thing about this is that you don't have to actually see me. You can just hear me if you call me because there's no lights needed. 3763. The numbers in the chat. 150 people here. Yeah, get those likes up. I appreciate it, guys, if you guys are getting value out of this. But yeah, 443-281-3763 if you want to give me a call. And let's get to some questions. So Matthew Schaefer says, I want to know what I think of Nichola, or aka VTIQ. So VTIQ, obviously been a hot stock over the past week. If you guys aren't familiar with this one, Nichola is a private company right now, merging into ticker symbol VTIQ. Should be finalized by mid-June, I think is what the expectation is. This is said to be a competitor to Tesla, and I think it's a freaking joke. That in a nutshell. First of all, it's not even comparable to Tesla, because Tesla is not just a car company. If you just want to whittle it down to comparing the vehicles, Tesla, just to put this in perspective, is 5 to 7 years ahead of anybody in the as far as competition is concerned. And I know that Nichola also has the hydrogen-powered semis. And the thing of it is, if these semis that come out from Tesla are electric-powered, I would say that hydrogen doesn't make any sense. And maybe I'm missing something, but I would say that the competition between Nichola and Tesla is just going to be a joke. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be room for them somewhere, but the barrier to entry, at least to try to somehow compete with Tesla, is not going to be there. I would say that when you're looking at this, the big three, meaning GM, Ford, and Chrysler, always try to shove everybody else out. And history has told us this. Just go look up, what was it, the Tucker? Back in 1940s, that was just an incredible story. But that was my favorite story as far as like people trying to break into the big three. And the only person that's been able to do it over the 100 years that there have been auto manufacturers in the U.S. from a United States built company. I'm not talking about the Asian markets or anything like that, but has been Tesla. The only one that's thrived and continues to thrive and will do well because they are crushing everybody else. Nichola remains to be seen. Highly speculative. I don't think that amounts to much, and I don't think it's a competition, and I don't think it's close. So you want to trade it? Sure. Play the pops. You want to invest in it? You might want to ask yourself why. Why would you invest in that? So anyhow, appreciate the question. I hope that it didn't offend. That's just my opinion. So thanks for Jordan. I appreciate the donation. Asking, I am in CCL at $9.50 per share. Keep holding or take profit. I don't need the cash right now. Good question, Jordan. I would say I wouldn't be touching anything cruise related. Here's the thing, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again because it's worth repeating. Carnival Cruise Line, the amount of debt that they have accrued now to try to keep themselves afloat, no pun intended, is double that of their market cap. Think about that. Their debt is double what their market cap is. That's insane. Absolutely crazy. So, and a lot of that $6.5 billion worth that they just took out is convertible, which means that that debt turns into shares, which then they dump into the stock. There's lenders that now have shares that, Carnival gave them in exchange for cash. They can take that and dump it into the stock. So if you're profitable right now on Carnival, in my opinion, is it worth keeping some? If you want to play that game, cool. But yeah, I would take some profit off the table. And if you want to leave some in there just to see where it goes, that's your prerogative. I honestly wouldn't see any problem with that, but I would definitely be protecting or hedging some of my risk. And I don't see any reason to be holding on to Carnival until we see a huge turnaround from them. And I don't think that happens for at least a year or two. So, and I know that you were saying that you don't have, you don't need the money right now, but I think that your money could be better spent elsewhere. Like some of the stuff we've talked about. It's a lot of the stay-at-home stocks, Stitch Fix and Etsy. A lot of these other ones I think are going to move a lot better than Carnival will in the foreseeable future. So that's my take on that. Good question, though. Appreciate the donate. Next question, Daniel Spear. What's up, man? OTC reverse merger is, so this is a penny stock. RNWF. Amendment updates and attorney letter is out. 1 quarter of 2020 is great. Great share structure. Caveat emptor will be gone. So just to give you perspective, Dan, caveat emptor, not going to really matter even if it falls off. Here's the thing with this one. Let me double check the share structure on this. RWNF. I feel like I remember this one. So for those of you who don't know, this channel got started on over-the-counter penny stocks, and I still have a lot of, OGs. Have been following me since my penny stock days, and I still trade them. Here's the thing. Dan, is this, hold on, RWNF. I'm only seeing this come up as a foreign stock. Is it RWNFF? I'm on OTCmarkets.com. I would say, and this one's on the grays. I don't know. I would, Dan, I'll get back to you on that one. I know, just reach out to me. Send me a direct message, or if you have already, I'm sure I'll get back to it. But this one I'm not so sure about. There's a lot of question marks here, in my opinion. So we'll just wait for that one. So appreciate the question, Dan. I'll reach back out to you if you haven't reached out to me. So I know how to get in contact with you. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. All right, so we got a call here real quick. Let me go ahead and get them on the line here and welcome them to the show. What's going on? Welcome to Stock Watch Sunday. Who's this and where are you from?
It's Christopher Robin.
Hey, what's up, man? So, guys, you don't know, Christopher Robin's actually in my mentorship, and it's good to have you on the show, man. What's up?
I'm good. I was just asking about, wanted to hear some reviews on a ticker symbol RAND. It's coming out with
It's coming out with what? I'm sorry.
They're gonna do a split, reverse split.
And what was the ticker symbol again? I'm sorry, I missed you.
RAND.
RAND. Okay, perfect. Rand Capital. So,
ND.
Yeah. Rand Capital, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to let you go there. But thanks for the call. So I'm looking at RAND, and let's see. Looks like I had a call there, but anyways, looking at the chart here, and I'm seeing that, I don't know, if I was looking at this, Christopher, I could see a resistance at $3, and it started to spike up over that, so maybe there's something there. But I would like to see this continue before I would take a shot at this. The thing of it is that this is a development company. I would imagine that there's probably not much movement going on here. There's probably not too much to go off of until they really get back into work. So I would hold off on this one until there's some sort of evidence that this actually gets a move on. So I don't know. I would probably stay away until we have some sort of positive move up on this one. So as far as like people getting back to work and actually starting to develop real estate again. So great question, but I would probably hold off on that, at least for the time being. So, all right, next one Next question. Thanks for the call, Chris. Appreciate it. So again, yeah, that's 443-281-3763. If you guys want to call in, I think somebody tried calling in before while Chris was on the phone, but feel free to call back. Be happy to take the call. So Davian Hall, what do you think about Apple? What's not to love? I love Apple. Here's the thing, though. I think Apple is a little overbought at this point. So if you're not in Apple already, right now, Apple went up as high as it went up higher than 307, right? 307.94, almost 308. This is a little bit overextended in my opinion. I would say if you already are in it though, maybe sell a little bit and keep some, kind of like what we're talking about with Carnival Cruise Line just earlier. Same strategy is what I'm saying. Not that they're even comparable, but I would say that if you are in Apple right now, I would consider maybe taking some off of the table and maybe letting the rest of it go and seeing where it might take you. But this seems a little bit overinflated, a little overextended as far as Apple's concerned. There's still stores that are closed in the U.S. I don't know how well that's going to turn out for their quarter two earnings. That's what I'm really concerned about. So, maybe this continues to run. Maybe stimulus checks, or not a stimulus check. Maybe the stimulus actually, the secondary stimulus that could be coming out actually starts to move this a little bit more. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm not really optimistic on this continuing to run up the way that it's been moving. I just can't. I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant on this one. So I just be careful with it. I'm sorry, it went all the way up to 320. It was at 307 when it closed on Friday. So either way, you can kind of see that it's pulling back a little bit. It might pull back all the way down below 300, and that's where I would start to scoop some up at, maybe 290, somewhere around there. So I don't think it pulls back and comes back down to the lows back around $213. I think that's a little crazy, but that's kind of my opinion on there. But I always love Apple. If you're investing in Apple, just hold on to it. It'll do very well for you, and I think that as far as investments are concerned, you can't go wrong with just owning some. All right, going to get to the next caller here. Hi, welcome to Stock Watch Sunday. Who's this?
Hey, it's King Brad again.
Hey, what's up, Brad? How you doing, man?
Good. Just was wondering if you could take a look at Medtronic, MDT, earnings on Thursday, I believe.
MDT, you said?
Yeah, Medtronic.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate the call. I'll go ahead and let you go. Yep, absolutely. All right. So MEDT is going to be Medtronic's. This one, did they have earnings? Let me get this pulled up here. MEDT. Oh, my goodness. This was all over the place. Medtronics. There it is. MDT. Sorry about that. Yep. Okay. I was like looking at MEDT and I was like, this is all over the place. Looking at this one, Brad, I would say look for a move on this one up above $95 a share. Right now it's starting to make its way towards that. But I'm seeing a little bit of a divergence here. You can see some upward movement. RSI and momentum seems to be down. So just be careful with this one. If we start to see this move back up over $95 a share and momentum starts to move up a little bit more, I think I like this one as a buy, but I would just be cautious with this one. A lot of the other pharma stocks are in a race right now, right? They're a race against the Rona. So I would just be careful with it. But technically speaking, I like this from a technical analysis standpoint. I like this if it can break up over $95 a share. And then we got to see some of that momentum and movement moving in that same direction as well. Right now, I'm kind of seeing a little bit of a bearish divergence here. So I would just be cautious about the moves up. But if we can see everything continue moving in that right direction, I like this for a buy for a nice little long play. All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, Brad. Let me get into some more questions here. Where are we at? Davian already asked. All right, next one is going to be from Samuel Luker. Do you think Delta will drop to high 13s, low 14s this week? That's a really great question. I don't know what it's going to happen to Delta this week. And I think a lot of it really will depend on where the rest of the market goes. I don't think it comes down that low this week. I think that would be kind of drastic, but it could potentially go lower than where it is right now. On Friday, it closed at $19.19. This was one that I would say, when I've talked about the airliner stocks before in the past, I said that Delta, Southwest, those are the ones that I would consider holding. But the expectation that it's going to take a while for these to move. And when we start to see earnings from them, I think that's really what's going to get a move on here. And when people start going back to work for real, not this phase 1, phase 2, once everybody's back out, I think that's when it really starts to get to move on. So if you really want to be in a stock right now, as far as airlines are concerned, JetBlue is another really good one. I think JetBlue, which we actually played this past week, Delta, Southwest, actually in this order: Delta, Southwest, JetBlue, in that order. So I would say I don't see them coming back down all the way to $14 or $13 this week. Could it happen eventually? It remains to be seen, but I don't think it comes down that low this week. If you're looking to buy some, I would say just start to scale yourself in. If you start to see this pull back to maybe around 18.75, somewhere around there, then maybe start to scale yourself in. And if this does drop lower and you want to increase your position size and you're okay with the type of risk that's involved with that, then I wouldn't see any problem with that. But I don't know. Trying to predict the bottom of where Delta is going to be really difficult, as it is with anything in the stock market. So I would just be careful with this one, as I don't know. I don't expect this to have that significant. It would have to be a 25% drop this week. I just don't see that happening. Great question, though. Thanks. Appreciate it. MGM's the way to go. Yeah, I like MGM. So I just wanted to. I was just checking in on some of these. But yeah, I do like MGM. All right. So Jeff asks, SRNE, what do you think of it? Will it run or tank? So this is an interesting one, right? This was a Jim Cramer a pump. I'm not saying that Jim Cramer was the reason that SRNE came up moved so well, but Jim Cramer went on Twitter on Friday and basically said, bye on SRNE, because they came out with some antibody discovery that could potentially cure you if you had the Rona. Look, this is a little bit crazy. Right before the market opened, he puts out a tweet. And this is weird because he was like, oh, well, the share structure is really small. The float's small. It could really move. And it was like an invitation to go buy this stock. And this absolutely crushed it. Mind you, we traded this in the mentorship, which, by the way, if you're interested in being part of my daily mentorship, I go live with folks from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time every single day via Zoom. So you're in a Zoom conference with me every single day of the week in the mornings. Go over the stocks that I'm watching, how I plan to execute some of these trades. And it's a community, though. So, there's plenty of other ideas that get shared. And one of them was SRNE. If you're interested in the mentorship, click the links down in the description below and enter code DELTA. You'll get 30 days free in the mentorship. And would love to have you there. So Delta is the promo code. You'll get your free 30 days. And you can be in the Own the Chaos mentorship. So SRNE, I think this probably actually fizzles out. Maybe. We'll see. Right now, it went from $2.56 that it closed on Thursday all the way up to $9 a share at the high, coming back down, settling at 7.05 and kind of fizzling out and consolidating there. I would say that this would be just a watch for me. I don't think that I would be in SRNE up this much. We're talking what? Almost a 500% move. And for the NASDAQ, that's pretty serious. The other thing is SRNE has a ton of debt. I would imagine that an offering comes sooner rather than later. So you also have to consider that. I would just be cautious with this, buying this up this high. If you want to get into it lower, I would imagine maybe, a dip by around $6.50, but that's still a stretch. Maybe if it comes back down to 531, that would be a much clearer buy if it came down the $5.30 range, because then that would be almost a 50% retracement from its $9 high. So that would make a lot of sense if we started to see the momentum come back up after it came back down that low. But buying it at $7 a share would be a little bit of a scary move, in my opinion. So great question there. Chris, we already covered Nichola as far as VTIQ is concerned, so feel free to go back and watch that. Another question here for at local asbestos removal. Some of these names crack me up. Crude oil is rallying now; it's going up. Can you explain? This? It's not like we're fully back with planes flying and everything else. my explanation is this. And if you guys happen to tune in to Friday's video that I put out when it comes to the stock market versus the economy, the oil stocks are moving on the potential that people get back to work full force, right? And that demand comes back just like it was. But the fact of the matter is that this is more or less of a short squeeze or just the fact that it's moving on hope. The fundamentals aren't there. I would not be in oil for any length of time. If you want to play the run up, you want to play the pumps on the oil stocks, fine. That's cool. Like, I got no problem with that. You're going to make your money, you go ahead and do it. But I would not be sitting in these oil stocks because it's only a matter of time before everything tanks. And when people find out that there's nowhere to put this oil once we reach capacity, things are going to tank big time. And I think that if there's going to be a serious correction in the stock market, that's when it would happen. A lot of investors, base the strength of the stock market off of oil. That's a really big deal for a lot of stock market investors. And I'm talking big money, right? Institutional money. They're looking at these oil stocks, which, by the way, though, I will point out that there is a lot of big money that's moving away from that. So we are seeing a little bit of an evolution as far as that's concerned, but it hasn't clearly happened yet. So I would say just stay away from oil. If you want to play the pops, fine, but it's going to come back down and it's not going to be pretty. Okay. So, yeah, no problem, Chris. No problem. No need to be sorry. We got 76 likes. Yeah, can we get the likes up? If you guys are getting value out of today's video or today's stream, I certainly would appreciate it. Hey, Volley, what's up, man? Good to see you. Dave Lawrence, how do you feel about MGM and other casino stocks with Vegas potentially opening soon? I realize their financials will be taking a hit, but would you buy on the upcoming news? Here's the thing about MGM. They've had a lot of insider buying, not to be confused with insider trading, okay? A lot of their other executives have bought significant amounts of money of their own stock and publicly, disclosed that via, Form 4. And I like that. When I see huge chunks of buying going on from MGM insiders, that means that they have enough faith in their own company that, they're willing to put hundreds of thousands of dollars of their money back into the company because they have, the faith that it'll go back up. That being said, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody can feel free to correct me. The state of Nevada is open, but Las Vegas is not open yet. And so I think that's the next step for Nevada. So when they start to open back up, I think that they will make very strong moves. I like MGM better than all of the other ones simply because of their balance sheet. I think they have the best balance sheet. They have the most cash on hand. They have the least amount of debt. They have really good revenues, all that good stuff. Everybody loves Wynn, and I've had conversations with other people about this, why people like Wynn better than MGM. WYNN is the ticker symbol, so Wynn Resorts. You can't go wrong with either one of them, but some people like Wynn just because it's sexier, right? They have a sexier brand. It's not as flashy as MGM, and maybe that's why people gravitate to Wynn. But as far as financials are concerned, I would say MGM's got the better financials, but you can't go wrong with either one of them. I would say if you're going to have one, go with MGM. And there's a lot of people that got into MGM, back in $14, $15 range, and it's come back down, no question about that. But I still have it. I still own it, and I'm still very confident in where MGM's going, and I got no problem with it. Holding on to that. So, all right, we're up to 221. That's sweet. That's awesome. Chris is asking difference in your level 1 and level 2 Chaos Crew. So looking to join the Chaos Crew. So again, if you guys want to hit join, just below me here, wherever you see my box, there should be a join button. If you want to click join, the level 1, level 2, everybody on those gets the watch list every single day. If you want to get into the level 2, basically what that is just an opportunity to get to know me on a little bit more of a personal level. And of course, you can ask me questions and I'd be happy to answer those. But I'll put out a video at least once a week, just covering some of the questions that you guys might ask. You could ask me what kind of food I like, whatever. But there's just another opportunity to get to know me a little bit better. If you would like to do that and support this channel even further, you can choose a level 2. But anyways, if you guys want to be part of that, again, the Chaos Crew gets you a watch list every single day before the market opens. It's usually about an hour before it opens, right at 8:30 in the morning Eastern time. It gives you an opportunity to kind of, check and see if there's anything that you might be interested on that list. And again, we've had a lot of really good bangers on that one. So, especially the last couple of weeks, it's been on fire. So if you guys are in the Chaos Crew, I certainly would appreciate it if you guys could show me some support with a thumbs up. But if you guys want to check it out, love to have you over there. Futures are up 235. Yeah, I mean, look, the futures on Sunday versus futures on Monday might be two different things. A lot can happen between now and then. I don't really like to put a lot of emphasis on what's going on in the futures market, the night before. So, but, it's encouraging to see that it's up for sure. How are you feeling about Penn sports betting? So here's the thing. I actually like DraftKings better than Penn, but I think Penn's going to do well, especially now that sports are starting to get back into it. DraftKings absolutely annihilated earnings, right? And they went the hell off. If you didn't get into DraftKings before Friday, I think you missed the boat. Wait for a pullback. Penn, though, I think is definitely a good one to look for. But I would say, just hedge your bets. No pun intended. But, I like Penn for a good long-term hold. If you're expecting sports to come back, which they are, we just saw UFC, had their first live show, and it was a little bit, I don't know. I like UFC, and I'm just as me veering off, right? We're going off topic here for just a second, but I like UFC. But here's what I hate: 10 seconds in, I waited 4 hours. I'm staying up till midnight or better to watch the main event. 10 seconds, it's over. And that's what we saw. That's what we saw in the last UFC fight. I was like, what is going, this is ridiculous. I would be pissed if I actually paid for the pay-per-view on that. I did not, but I would be pissed if I paid for that and watched 10 seconds and then down he goes. It was like two hits. He landed 2 punches and it was over. Anyways, getting back on topic, Ryan, what do you think about the gold market to go along with oil perspective? So I actually like the gold market. I think gold's going to continue to go up. It did get beaten down here for a little bit, but I think it's only a short-term reaction. I think that if you're looking to invest in gold long-term, you probably want to hedge yourself, or not hedge yourself. You probably want to scale yourself into a position on gold. And I really like Barrick Gold. It's nice and cheap. It's the ticker symbol GOLD. It's priced around in the $20 range, and it's a very well-run company. So you could invest in gold futures if that's the route you wanted to take. But I like, the actual ticker symbol GOLD. It moves right along with the price of gold, and so I would say that if you want to get some good cheap shares as far as gold's concerned and work yourself into a position, I would suggest maybe having 7 to 10% of your portfolio wrapped up into the gold market, and I think that you do very well there. So I do like that for a bullish move. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Be happy to see you there. Thinking about purchasing shares of BTG. Yeah, so just right back into that, Shirley. Looking into the thumbs up is free. I appreciate it. I love you guys. We're up over 100 likes. Hell yeah. Let's do it. 123 lurkers. That's all right. That's all right. Lurkers are welcome too. Yeah, no problem, Ryan. Appreciate the question, man. Sweet. John asking about Penn again. So Penn questions. Are we sure? Are we drying up on the questions here? I'll get one or two more in, admin, if you could toss them over to me. But yeah, so looking at the Penn. PENN. Let's look at the resistance here. Yeah, I would say 1997. I mean, that was a good year. I don't know why it was a good year. I don't know. But $19.97 would be the resistance there. That was Friday's high. If it breaks over Friday's high, it's very good likelihood it's probably going to continue to move if it does break that resistance, in my opinion. All right. Yeah, phone line's still open. If you guys want to give me one last call, that's cool. I'll take one last call. 443-281-3763. Would appreciate it. If you guys want to give me one more call, I'd be happy to take one more call. Do you think the stimulus passing will affect market up or down? It'll definitely increase the market for sure. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. If we get another $3 trillion that gets put into the into the economy and then into the markets, yeah. I mean, it's gonna the biggest problem is going to be hyperinflation, right? And that's going to be the big question. Will it cause negative interest rates potentially. And I don't know. Jerome Powell seems to think that negative interest rates aren't even close to being a thing. And I mean, if you look at the futures markets, as far as the Federal Reserve is concerned, the options market over there seems to suggest that negative interest rates are definitely on the table. I would say that negative rates are probably not going to be a great thing for the U.S. economy. And I would also say that it would explode the stock market if that happened. Negative rates came in, the Dow Jones would go to like 50,000. And that's not a joke. That's a serious thing. If negative rates actually happen, then now Dow Jones will go to 50K. Not doubt in my mind. But the problem is that these European companies that have negative interest rates, and Japan, it's worked out extremely well for them. But they also have the ability to take advantage of negative interest rates and still invest into the U.S. economy, investing in the United States. Who's the United States investing in? And actually going to see a decent return from it. I mean, when you're the best economy, you know, so that's the big question I think that a lot of people have to ask themselves as far as negative interest rates are concerned. I think potentially it could be a good thing, but there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered before we start digging ourselves into the negative interest rates territory. But all right, Honda asks, are there going to be any? Oh, okay. Sorry, I got myself lost here. For Mike Corsini asks, are there going to be good long terms? What? I don't understand that one. Oh, GM. Oh, Ford. Okay, I'm sorry. Mike, I had to dissect that. Ford, GM, Honda, are they going to be good long-term holds? That's a really great question. I would be hesitant on getting on any of these. Honda, I probably would not be in. GM and Ford. Look, Ford, I think the only way Ford's going to be able to come back and be worth investing in, and the only reason that Ford was worth investing in before was because of their dividends. So therefore, I wouldn't be touching Ford, in my opinion, until the dividends came back. And who knows when that will be. But I wouldn't touch Ford. I wouldn't touch any of the car companies. I mean, the demand for cars, for buying vehicles right now is just not very high. And how about this? Once people are, free to go back to work and, U.S. is back open for business, how many people are going to stay at home and work when they realize that, daycare, it costs a lot and I can make this work at home. I can make this work from home thing work and still be able to take care of the kids and everything else. I think that the demand for new vehicles is probably going to go down. And that's just a theory of mine, but I would say that I would stay away from the vehicle manufacturers, say from Tesla, because as we all know, Tesla is more than just a car company. But I would say that, I'd be cautious about that. Let's put it that way. Jerome said they have enough ammunition to hold the market. Yeah, Jefferson, I heard that too. And I would say the ammunition is just more inflation. But one last one. Yeah, let's do this one. A lot of people are interested in your thoughts on NAT. Everybody wants to know about NAT. All right, fine. And this will be the last question of the day that I answer, okay? NAT. And the only reason that I haven't talked about this is because everybody and their damn mothers talked about NAT stock. And look, I know you guys want to know, so that's fine. I'll give it to you. Look, and here's my thoughts. The other reason I haven't talked about NAT is because I am not a fan of it. And the reason being is because NAT is just like a lot of these other shipper stocks, and it's loads of debt. When you look at these shipper stocks and they have strong moves, a nice spike here and there, we always have this term. It's called shipper season in the fall. And some of you veteran traders might know about shipper season, but shippers, they spike in the fall. A lot of it's anticipation of like Christmas and stuff like that. And then what happens? Reverse splits, offerings. Every investor who thinks that the shippers are worth holding on to gets destroyed. And that's what's going to happen with NAT. So here's my suggestion. Trade it, don't marry it, and I would have my finger on the sell button as soon as you see any kind of downturn on this thing, or as soon as you see any kind of I mean, I would be out obviously before any kind of offering gets put out, but there will be an offering on this. Mark my words. So at some point, there it will happen. So I would say, yeah, let's go tops. Right, tops DRYS. So, anyways, yeah, NAT. I'm sure it can move, especially once oil reaches capacity, which I strongly feel will. But NAT is it's a trash stock. There's a reason it's $5.30 with all the attention that it's getting. It's only at $5.30. Just think about why it's down here, and start to piece this together. Common sense a little bit. So trade it, don't marry it, and just be very, very careful. Those are my thoughts on NAT. Okay? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I appreciate all of you. All the love that I get from you guys is absolutely incredible, and you guys are really what keeps me going. The reason why I get up in the morning and do what it is that I do is because of you guys. So I really appreciate, just all the love and support. And, if you guys could give me a thumbs up if you haven't done so already, just to show some more support for the channel, I certainly would appreciate it. Again, a couple of last housekeeping things. If you want to join the Chaos Crew, get my watch list every single day, click the join button. Would be happy to have you there, as well as checking out the morning mentorship if you guys want to check that out as well, where you guys get to interact with me every single day of the week. The links are down in the description below. Go check out WeTradeHQ.com, which is what you saw here when I was sharing my screen before the lights went off and all that, right? If you want free 30 days of that, it is going to be Delta is the promo code. So Delta is the promo code for the free 30 days of mentorship as well. So be happy to see you guys there. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. As always, I'll see you all before the bell. Have a good one.